What we think about God is today on Let the Church Be the Church. What we think about things has a powerful influence in our lives. For example, if we think a particular vehicle is attractive, reliable, will serve our needs at a fair price, we'll spend our hard earned money and buy it. If we consider a particular career path and think that it could be interesting, satisfying, support our needs, and perhaps make a difference in the world, we may dedicate decades pursuing it. Even bigger is what we think about people we date or court for marriage. What we think of them could bring us to the point of spending the entire remainder of our lives intertwined together at the deepest levels of human experience. But nothing touches what we think about God. A.W. Tozer, in his classic, The Knowledge of the Holy, said this: "What comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us." Do you believe this? Without a doubt. Look, if we think God doesn't exist, how will we live? Yeah, as though today, this life is all there is, so eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. If we think God's real, but he's far off and he's uninvolved with his creation, we'll live accordingly, and we'll let God do his God stuff, and we'll live our life our way with little or no thought of him. What we think of God is the most important thing about us. It touches every aspect of our lives. Then, among the myriad of things we could think about God is the truth about God from the source. Here's what God says about himself in Exodus 35, 5 through 7. He says, "Then the Lord came down in a cloud, and he stood there with him," that's Moses, "and he proclaimed his name, the Lord." And listen to this. "He passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands, and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished." So there's always that righteous, just aspect of God that we shouldn't overlook. But what do we see here? First, God's not a myth, right? He stood there in a cloud before Moses and spoke aloud. No atheists here. And he's very personal, deeply involved in the lives of his creation. And I can attest to that, along with millions of other believers in Christ. But what I want you to tune into is how God defines himself. He's not a miserable old killjoy who doesn't want us to have any fun in life, or some sneering critic despising everything that we do. God is compassionate. He's gracious. God is patient. He's slow to anger. He's abounding in love and faithfulness. And he's forgiving. Friends, this is the pure, unequivocal truth about God from the author of truth. And I love it, right? Now, how differently would we live if we really thought God was this way? What we think about God determines so much about us. It affects our values, our ethics, how we see people in the world that we live in. It changes our priorities, our perspectives, our motives, how we spend our time, talents, and treasures. Listen to me. We can never live above what we think about God. So take a look at what you think of God. If he's not huge and loving and compassionate and gracious, and, well, press in to know the real truth about our God. What we think about him will either pull us down to live at a base human level, and we can look at our crazy world around us and see how that's going, or it will propel us to new heights of emulating the God we see described in his word, in real love and compassion, speaking the truth, showing each other grace, being slow to anger and quick to forgive. Oh, that, my friends, is beautiful. And that's our God. When we think rightly about God and we live accordingly, then this world will see the church be the church.
If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.